Okay, but it's not necessary. But it's really like, what do those cows eat and how that work for you? Number 2, whole grains are heart healthy. True? False? Why would it be false?
Because they're finding out that whole grains are actually the cause behind heart disease.
Well, so for some people.
Yeah.
See, there it is again, for some people. Because some of my colleagues are very radical. They go, grain-free diet, too many grains, the grains are creating problem, glutinous intolerance for everyone, and so forth. Now, if someone has a compromised digestive system, and someone's having compromised grains or grain-based diet that they can't digest, then grains can be a contributor to aging and vascular disease. But for most people, eating whole grains, and particularly gluten-free grains, that's where we're teaching people how to get along without so much wheat, how to get along without so much gluten in their food. Yeah?
Don't they inhibit mineral acceptance in the body?
Not necessarily. It depends on the digestion. It depends on how the grains cook. Now, there are people who eat, fermented grains, uncooked grains, raw food people and all that. They have a tougher time digesting that food because it hasn't gone through the process of breaking down some of the complex carbohydrates. Yeah, I'm back.
What are the gluten-free grains?
All right. Brown rice, quinoa, millet, buckwheat, non-GMO corn, amaranth. Okay? So you got a different one every day of the week. One I'm going to suggest for you to try is buckwheat. Buckwheat is not wheat. Buckwheat is soft. It cooks in 5 minutes. It's very nourishing. It's got a nice flavor. Keep it going. Okay? Good question. This is a teacher. All right. Number 4, eating grass-fed butter confers health benefits that vegetable oils don't. True or false? False. How many falses? Pretty much true, because it's cows that ate grass that had omega-3s from the grass that they ate. Okay? And then with vegetable fats, it could be corn, it could be canola, it could be soy, it could be safflower. And those oils tend to be more perishable because, as I said, when you're in a whole seed, even a sunflower seed, you've got good durability, stability, integrity, the whole package. You have the cofactors to digest the fats, the omega-6 fats in the sunflower seed. You take the sunflower seed, you squeeze it, you put it in a glass bottle, you put it on the shelf more than a week, it starts to oxidize, and then it creates some health problems. Butter is more stable. My thing is not better or worse, but there's value in either if it's well understood. And then there's choice. Choice is fine. Somebody goes, no, I'm off dairy, I'm off animal, I don't have good tolerance for that, I'm plant-based. Fine, but one can be plant-based and be sick. One can be plant-based and be sugar-based. One can be plant-based and be GMO-based. See what I mean? So just being vegetable, vegetarian, vegan, raw, raw is usually pretty fresh organic. All right. High cholesterol foods cause heart disease. True? Not too many. False? False. That's really interesting. The whole heart disease, cholesterol correlation has now been taken apart. There's many different variables of which cholesterol is a smaller variable, not a big variable. And the thing I'll tell you, because most of us are sort of in that boomer demographic, wouldn't you say? I would say. Some of these talks are, not you? You're in the denial demographic. Not necessarily. But anyway, as you get older, you want cholesterol 230, 240. See, so that's a really big controversy within the medical system. Is anything over 200 is deemed to be elevated, and if it's elevated, it puts you at risk, and if it's at risk, it puts you in line for statin drugs. Okay, so statin drugs have some value for people post-cardiac myocardial infarction, but they have no preventative value, and then they create side effects that are untoward. Yeah.
What did you say the numbers should be, or does it? Like
the thing is, as I say, depending on your age, your activity, and all that, I think for females who are 60-ish, 220, 230
isn't that high?
Is good now. No, it's good. And then, of course, you balance it with the HDL,
Yeah.
and I have yet to meet a woman who doesn't have an HDL of 60. And I have yet to meet a man who had an HDL of 60. You see what I mean? Women by kind of genetics seem to make more HDL, and you want your ratio less than 4 to 1. So again, 240 to 60, you're 4 to 1. And most of the women I see, like 70, you see what I'm saying? So again, if you're 340, maybe there's a malfunction there. So I'm not saying it's you know, there's not limits, but cholesterol is good for the brain. Cholesterol is good for the adrenal glands. What do the adrenal glands do in your body? Fight or flight. Really, adrenal glands are what give you energy. And when your reproductive system shuts down, which it does, it depends on your adrenal glands of whether or not you adapt and function well or not. So they're, by definition, cholesterol dependent. So when somebody goes, oh, my cholesterol is 150, I go, well, that's too bad. And remember, I'm a moderate, sensible, intelligent person, also looking at variations among people, you see? Because, you know, cholesterol does help with steroid hormone production, which we need. Yeah? Yes?
What are good sources or sources of good cholesterol?
Egg yolk. Egg yolk. So there are people who have egg sensitivities. You know, eggs make them break out in a rash, or they don't, you know, they have some bad eggs, and they have a whole bad egg antibody sort of thing going on. So that's not eat eggs if that's the person. But for the person who has family risk and they're eating oatmeal instead of eggs in the morning, they can have an egg yolk in their oatmeal. And an egg yolk can be eaten uncooked. Egg white needs to be cooked. So you can drop an egg yolk in a smoothie, and it's like butter because it's creamy. It's delicious. So poached egg is the ideal way to do an egg. Yeah.
I think I missed number 3.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I missed number 3.
Oh, sorry, I thought I saw.
You know, you pay attention.
Yeah.
To that man at that point. All right. So white meat's better than red meat. Poultry's better than beef. True or false? Everybody thinks it's true. Come on, don't you think that, when you say, oh, I know that's true. Not necessarily. Not at all. Or even white, you know, breast is better than dark, you know, thighs and all that. No, that's male bias. But no, I mean, actually, dark meat, the poultry has more tryptophan, which is an important amino acid for serotonin production. You think I was an animal advocate here. But I'm just busting myths. I think it's important to look at the science and look at the, you know, what we're talking about here. Food-based micronutrients, those are vitamins and minerals, are more effective than supplements in preventing disease. Yeah, the foods. So that's the big thing. Even the supplement companies now are making food formulas. You know, it's plant-based, and the numbers are low. You know, you take 1,000 vitamin C, you're not going to get 1,000 vitamin C eating food. You get a couple hundred milligrams of vitamin C, but those couple hundred milligrams will do as well as 10 times the ascorbic acid. And ascorbic acid comes from corn, and the corn is typically genetically modified. There's a lot of corn-based products out there. Ascorbic acid comes from corn, and unless it said it was organic corn, leads one to believe it could be, or probably is genetically modified. Yeah.
So how do you know, what would be a good, I mean, if people say, you know, you need massive amounts of vitamin C, what would be a source for that?
No, you got a juicer over here. You could run your produce through the juicer. Anything that's fresh has vitamin C. And it has bioflavonoids. And bioflavonoids are the phytonutrient that really potentiate the micronutrients. I want to say this. My belief is food from here. Food, lifestyle, attitude, community, spirituality, holistic nutrition. That's sort of the eating for health kind of mindset. And if people follow that approach, they do pretty well. They do very well. Now, in certain situations, people go, wow, I really need some therapeutic nutrients, then the supplements are very valuable. But, you know, we're in such a product-based society. You get so much literature and infomercials around the products, people don't have as much trust in the foods, yeah.
When, in terms of juicing, isn't it, having the fiber from the veggies and fruits helpful for your gut?
Yes and no. Okay. I mean, you can only eat so many carrots or so much celery or so many beets,
Yeah.
but you can maximize a lot of the phytonutrient content by having the juice. So most of us are not going to be on juice diets, to the exclusion of food. So having a combination of juice and salad or juice and smoothies is good. But if you're kind of a smoothie blender person and you have a bit of an issue with digestion and you can't really handle that much food, you get 95% absorption when you have juice. And you get 50% absorption when you have all that pulp. See what I'm saying? So it's not to say that blended fruits or blended vegetables, even a blended salad, doesn't have value, but there's only so much that you can actually handle at a meal. And as people get older, they actually eat less, or they digest less, so at certain times the juicing is fine. Yeah.
There's an acerola,
Yep.
chewable
Little cherry.
vitamin C thing.
Yeah,
I
acerola is
think
a cherry.
that's not from corn, or it is?
No, it's a cherry.
No, it says acerola cherry.
Acerola cherry. But typically, again, it's ascorbic acid with some acerola cherry in there too. See what I'm saying? If you're getting 500 milligrams of vitamin C, it's 475 milligrams of ascorbic acid and 25 milligrams from cherries.
Well, that's what I was wondering. You've looked into that?
Beg your pardon?
You've looked into this?
Yeah. All right, let's roll. Conventionally grown produce has the same nutritional content as organic. It is false, yeah. But that's kind of in there in the marketplace, and there's certain studies that are kind of showing that. The thing is, you can find what you want.